Hello and welcome to another episode of Revolutions, the show that focuses on car and motorcycle events in and around the GTA. In this episode, we've got part 2 of our feature on the Toronto Motorcycle Show. That means we've got stories for you on new bikes from Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, and Zero Electric. So please enjoy. We'll begin part 2 of our feature of the Toronto Motorcycle Show at Kawasaki for a chat with Kawasaki representative Nick about the new models for 2011. All right, we're here now at the Kawasaki booth with Nick of Kawasaki and the beautiful ZX-10R, the Ninja. Nick, tell us about this new bike, please.
Well, with the ZX-10R, the most obvious thing that's new about this year is the styling. You'll obviously be able to tell the new LED in the front lights, the back cues, but most importantly, the electronic traction control, which we call it Sports Kawasaki Traction Control.
And I understand it's inspired from MotoGP or developed for MotoGP? Correct.
It's inspired MotoGP, and it's probably the first in the industry to trickle down to the consumer point. And and we're very, very excited about it. And a lot of journalists, as you'll probably read on blogs or websites, is very excited about it too.
Great, so that's an example of race technology for the street. Another street bike, a sport bike that I'm interested in is the 400, the Ninja 400R. Can you tell us about that? Is it all new for 2011?
Yes, the Ninja 400R is brand new for 2011, and it's the midpoint bike that we introduced to help riders, not new riders, but intermediate riders jumping from the 250, and they're thinking about 600cc, but they're not quite sure, and they feel a little bit more comfortable there was something in between, and that's why we introduced the 400R.
You mentioned the Ninja 250. Is there anything new with that bike this year?
Actually, that's a great question. The Ninja 250, we actually came out with the special edition color. It's in pearl white and ebony. It's a fantastic color. You have to see it for yourself.
Cool. And lastly, the Vulcan Vaquero. I believe that's a new bike for 2011. It's not a sport bike, but can you tell us a bit more about that bike, please?
Of course. The Vaquero, it's a lowrider motorcycle inspired. It's a bagger style, very sleek looking. We have 2 amazing colors. We have ebony and candy fire red. Colors you actually have to see in person to really enjoy.
We now head over to Honda to speak with Honda representative Bill about the new CBR 250R sport bike. I'm here at the Honda booth with Bill from Honda Canada. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. And we're standing beside the new CBR 250R. It's all new for 2011. Can you tell us more about this bike, please?
The CBR 250R is an all-new motorcycle for Honda this year, and it's being developed as a worldwide motorcycle. And one of the key goals of this is to introduce more new riders, give them a bike that's both capable for their needs and also very easy to handle and great bike to start off with.
Okay. So I noticed that you've had the CBR 125R out in the market in Canada for a while. Do you think Canadian customers were maybe thinking about having not so much a step up to the 600 series, but maybe a small step up to something like 250, and that was the driving force to be bringing this bike over?
Well, the CBR 125R has been a great success since 2007 when it was introduced. And in fact, it's been the best-selling motorcycle in Canada for 2010 so far. And although we're bringing out a 250, we're still continuing with the 125 because it's still an excellent entry-level bike for most beginners. The 250 fills a role that's not only just maybe it's a step up for some 125 riders who are looking for a little bit more power, a little more motorcycle, but it's also going to make a great entry point for both new riders and riders that are returning to the sport, and also some riders who have motorcycles and they're really looking for something that's easy and really, really fun to ride.
I'm glad that Honda's gotten into the 250 class in Canada. One popular 250 that's been around for a while is the Ninja 250 from Kawasaki. How do you think this bike compares to that bike?
Well, we think we have a great package here, and we're not so worried about beating Kawasaki on any particular level, but as a total package, the 250R really has what it takes. It's all new from the ground up. For instance, it has a brand new high technology 250 single motor that is low friction, and in fact, we know from our tests that it's as powerful, if not more powerful, than the 250 Twin from Kawasaki over a lot of the usable rev range. We also have the availability, which is unique, of ABS. So you can get ABS on this motorcycle for a great price. In fact, $49.99 with ABS is about the same price as our competitor is without.
Well, it seems like a very accomplished 250, and I'm glad that the Canadian consumer now has more of a choice in the 250 class. Thanks very much, Bill.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Enjoy the show.
It's time now to visit Yamaha to speak with Yamaha representative John about the new Striker. All right, John, we're beside a very striking cruiser, appropriately called the Striker from Yamaha. Can you tell us more about this, please?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a brand new bike for 2011 for us. Basically, it has a 1300cc liquid-cooled V-twin motor, which we have used in a couple of other applications, a couple of other models. But this bike has got a completely all-new frame design. And basically, what you're looking at is a very stylized machine. It is what you would call chopper-inspired styling. And I think you're quite probably familiar with shows like, West Coast Choppers, Orange County Choppers. It's drawn a lot of attention to these customized type bikes, and so therefore people have an increasing interest in them, and we have taken advantage of that, and we have produced, as I say, this machine with its very unique chassis. And one of the keys here is the raked out front end, which gives it that choppered inspired styling. But the engineers have done something special here with what's called a 6-degree yoke offset, because what happens is, as the more you rake out the front end of the bike, the funnier the handling becomes. And Yamaha, that is something that they will not undertake a project that's just based on styling, okay? It has to work properly in the real world. It has to be comfortable and fun for our customers to ride. So this is what they've done. They have incorporated this offset steering geometry here in the yoke, and it just makes it handle very nice. But they've put a number of other, sort of choppered-inspired highlights, such as a 21-inch front wheel, these direct mount handlebars. There is no actual handlebar riser. They mount directly to the upper triple clamp to give it a very interesting appeal. Smaller teardrop shaped tank and a very wide 210 series rear tire on it to give it that beefy look.
Now, we've used words like chopper, cruiser with this interview. This probably will compete directly with the Harley Davidsons. Do you think this is enough to detract people away from Harley and bring them to Yamaha for the Striker?
To be honest, what we find is a lot of our customers, they step up. They begin on the Japanese product and eventually end up on the Harley Davidson. We have to, fully admit that Harley is a dream bike to many older customers, but this has a very strong appeal to, your sort of entry level to intermediate type rider. What is key with this type of bike is the very low seat height, and people love that very much. It gives them confidence. They can get both feet flat on the ground. So I don't know whether this will take any sales away from Harley, but it certainly is a stepping stone for people. And what we often see is, is the husband with a Harley Davidson, but their wife with a Japanese brand, and this will certainly have a very strong appeal because of its beautiful styling and its eye-catching appearance that, a lot of women and men will look at this bike along the step-up structure line.
Well, on looks alone, it really is striking. I think it should do well on that basis. Thanks very much, Sean.
You're more than welcome, and thank you very much.
We'll conclude our coverage of the Toronto Motorcycle Show by chatting with Kent from National Motorsports about the Zero Electric motorcycle. I'm here now at Zero Electric Motorcycles with Kent. How are you doing, sir?
Good, yourself?
Pretty good, thanks. And this is an electric bike, correct?
100%.
Okay, so how does this all work?
Well, it's connected to a lithium-ion battery, and the battery is monitored with a battery management system, and it's hooked up to a German motor called Agni, and the bike handles just like a regular motorcycle.
Okay, so does it emit any sound at all?
No sound, no pollution, no gas, no oils. Very, very silent.
That sounds incredible. So what is the range on this electric bike?
This particular model here will give you about 2 hours of range in city driving, or about 80 kilometers.
Okay. So that's a good commuter vehicle then?
It is a commuter vehicle. It's made for the inner city, suburbs, going into town, a little bit of everything.
What exactly is the charging time for this electric bike?
It's between 1 hour to 4 hours. So if you're completely out of battery, you've ran out of battery, it'll take you 4 hours. But if you're going to do a 10, 15, 20 kilometer commute, you're talking 40 minutes to an hour to recharge your battery.
Kent, I'm interested in the history of Zero Electric. How did this all start?
It started back in 2006 with Neil Saki. He was working for NASA, and he came up with these fantastic batteries. So he decided to put the battery knowledge that he knew with a German motor, and with that he was able to make the very first Zero motorcycle. it caught on, and he was asked to produce more of them. So from 2006, from one model, the X model, we grew to the X to the MX model, and last year they started with the street versions, the S and the DS models. These two motorcycles were then homologated with Transport Canada in May of 2010, and as of May of 2010, Canada has their very first street legal electric motorcycles.
Wow. Do you see competitors maybe wanting to jump into this new stream of technology?
Just about every major manufacturer is looking at that venue. They have to. The future is there. You don't have a choice. So they're all there. It's just that Zero was the first one out of the blocks, and because of the battery technology that was already acquired way back in 2006. And you're going to see an incredible amount of new products coming up now.
Check out this demonstration of just how quiet the Zero really is. All right, so we're gonna start it up now. And it's on. I didn't hear anything. That's electric bikes for you. Do you mind just holding this for me, Ken? Thank you.
Right. There you go. The other one. Up. There you go. That's it. That's the noise it makes. That's all you hear.
Which is no noise.
No noise at all.
Well, I didn't drive it far, but I think you got the message. It's silent, totally silent. On startup, when you just sort of inch it forward, that is the beauty of electric motorcycles. Thank you very much, Ken.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
At Revolutions, it's our goal to promote car and motorcycle culture throughout the GTA. I met this friendly couple, Matt and Tanya, at the show and asked them why they think you should attend next time. Let's hear what they have to say. Okay, what I really want to know is, what would you guys tell somebody who's thinking about coming out to the show next year? What would you say to them to motivate them to be out and join this event?
Just, don't be intimidated. Everyone here is really friendly, great people. They're very welcoming. They let you sit on the bikes. It's a good time. It's very, very comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good way to kind of feel what kind of bike works for you, which is why I came, just to figure out what worked for me and what wouldn't work when I'm looking for a bike.
Cool, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the show.
All right,
Thank you.
You too.
I was also fortunate enough to meet road queen Heather Ireland at the show. She's the host of Biker TV, a show that covers motorcycles from coast to coast. Let's hear why Heather thinks you should join the show next time. We're trying to find out how we can get more people to the show to experience motorcycle culture in the GTA. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about joining next year, attending next year? What would you say to get them out here?
I think the main thing is many people at home, many people have said, oh, I've always wanted to ride a bike. Well, don't just want to ride a bike, get out and do it. And this is the place to also break up the monotony of the long winter. Not being on a bike for 4 months is pretty hard for a motorcycle enthusiast. So, get out, check out new products, and plan your next riding season, I think, is important.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks a lot, Heather.
Thank you very much.
For more information about the Toronto Motorcycle Show, please go to www.torontomotorcycleshow.ca. Revolutions would like to send special thanks to the following people: Bill from Honda Motorcycles Canada, Nick from Kawasaki Canada, John from Yamaha Canada, and Kent from National Motorsports. Thank you all very much for answering our questions at the show. And that concludes our feature of the Toronto Motorcycle Show. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Revolutions.